Hi, my name's Captain Scarlett. It's actually Jeff Scarlett, but everybody calls me Captain. And I am very shy and retiring and don't want to be up here. What a load of rubbish. What Ellen said, a little bit about Ellen. Firstly, she said, you know, about for 40 years, bitch, you told me you were 35. See, the truth comes out when you tell the truth. The truth's the truth, whether you believe it or not, and obviously she told me she was 35. But no, I did BC April 3 years ago, so it's 3 years and 1 month. Now I'm telling you that I've probably not as much as Dave and as much as Liz, but I've done all the personal development you can possibly think of. I've probably spent, I don't know, 40,000 quid on personal development. And 3 years ago, I was more screwed in my head than you can possibly believe. I hadn't got a clue who I was, what I wanted, where I was going. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't say I was due for a breakdown, but I just hadn't got a clue who I was. And I'm sure there's a few people in this audience that are going, yeah, I've been there, or I am there. So, I met Richard 5 years ago. I saw him at a Yes Group meeting, and he was speaking, and I sat there. Somebody had told me about this guy called Richard Wilkins. He was different. So I thought, yeah, I've heard them all before. And I sat there, and he started off, and he just, funny enough, he hasn't been as funny as he normally is. Maybe he's saving it till later, because I've never laughed so much in my life. But the message was so real, and I just went, oh my God, I've been waiting for this all my life. Because what he was saying, I just thought, there's no bullshit there. It was just like, can I pinch a chair off somebody? This one will do. Because this was me. This is who I was. And if anybody's been, and I shouldn't do this really, I'm going to do it anyway, an Anthony Robbins seminar for 3 days, I was Anthony Robbins in my mind, because I was there going, yes, we can do it, yes, come on, yes. Power stroke. I went home, I showed my wife my power stroke, she loved it. I went, power stroke. This is what Anthony Robbins told me to do before I come up on this stage. He said, you stand outside and you go, this is my power stroke, power stroke, power stroke. Get yourself in the zone, power stroke. Then you walk in and you're full of power. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, my name is... It's true, isn't it? And I used to sit there and I used to think, I could never be like him. And that was what personal development did for me. I used to sit there, and I've been to lots of these big speakers, and I went, that's fucking brilliant for you, mate. But I could never be like you, because I ain't good enough. I could never stand up on stage and do what you could, because I ain't that good. I ain't good enough. And up until I met Richard and Liz, what am I sitting down for? I met Richard and Liz, I actually thought I wasn't good enough. Now, I tell you what now, I am a superhero. But you know what? I don't have to go out and prove it. I know inside now what these guys have taught me. I can do and have everything I want. But you know what? I don't have to. It's what I want to do. I think Richard tells a bit of a story on one of his CDs, and I think it's about me, I'm not sure, about this chap who come along to one of Richard's teachings, if you want to call it whatever you want, and it was about this guy who wanted to be a millionaire. And when he wanted to be a millionaire because he wanted to be able to buy this nice place in Spain. And once he'd bought this nice house in Spain, he was a millionaire, then he'd be successful. And have a guess who that was? Me. And he said, you got a lad, didn't you? 21 years old, Mark. I went, yeah. He says, what's it like knowing Mark can never be successful? I went, what do you mean? He said, well, Mark can never be successful unless he becomes a millionaire and he buys a lovely place in Spain. I said, I don't understand what you're getting at. And he went, well, do you think Mark's going to listen to what you tell him? And do you think he's ever listened to you throughout his life? And I'm thinking, well, I hope he does. And he said, no, he'll watch what you do and he'll see what you do. No matter what you say to Mark or to my daughter, whatever you say to them, they'll go, oh yeah. But they've, all kids, I don't know whether, put your hands up if you've got kids, don't matter how old they are. Right. Well, all kids, especially when they're young, even a little bit older, look up to the mums and dads. And when they go there, they go like this. They're sitting there and you're saying, son, you can do anything you want. You can be an astronaut, you can be. And he's got there. And you know the sky dishes. You know on the side of the house, you've got a sky dish. Well, kids have got a sky dish here. It's called a bullshit meter. It's called a bullshit meter. And you go up, like, here was me saying I've got to be a millionaire and I've got to have all this to be successful. And I'm telling my son, you don't need to do that. You're a success just the way you are. And he was giving bullshit, Dad. Because if I can just be a big success, just being me, why can't you? And when Richard said that to me, I went, whoa. So you mean I'm passing this on to my children? And that's when I woke up. Because I realised, although yes, it's about me, I thought, this ain't about me anymore. This is about my kids. And have a guess what? It's about my grandkids. Because this script that Richard's on about, which was me, to be successful, to feel successful, to have all the feelings that Richard's talking about, I've got to be a millionaire. Because I grew up on a council estate, rough and ready, a fighter. And going back to that, really, I wasn't. I was a bit like Richard. I was quite timid. But you think I was going to show the other kids at school that I was quite timid because I was a good sportsman. So when there was ever a fight, I don't know how it happened, but I was always in the fight. So I was brought up a fighter. I said it's still, Richard won't like me saying this, but it's still, some of that is still in me. Because my profession is mechanical electrical engineer, installations. And I drive a van every day. Now I'm telling you, before BC I wouldn't have told you that. Because before BC, I drive a van every day wouldn't have sounded enough for me to tell you because that wasn't successful enough. For me to turn around and say, I drive a van 4 years ago, I wouldn't have said that. Because I'd been thinking, well, what do they think of you? They must think you're not very successful because you drive a van every day. Because I've always been brought up, you've got to have a big car, nice house, wear a suit, and then people will see you as successful. And then you will feel successful. Well, all that's gone now. You might find it quite amusing, but I actually go to business meetings dressed like this, where other people are turning up, architects or whatever, in suits and ties and everything. And I turn up like this, and I know they think I'm mad. Because they all turn up, and don't get me wrong, anybody who's got a suit and tie on, don't get offended. Got to watch what I'm saying. And I sit there, and within 5 minutes, guess what? They don't give a shit what I'm wearing. Because I could sit there in an Armani suit, a magnificent tie and everything else. But if what comes out of here, I don't know what I'm talking about, they actually will pick that up straight away. I sit down and I talk about and they go, God, this bloke knows what he's on about. Should do, I've been doing it 40 years. Anyway, I've been told I've got 1 minute, so I've got to go. The one thing I wanted to talk about, me and Ellen, this is going to probably last about a minute and a half, was one thing how the script can affect your life. As in, we love it. Put it like, since BC, you don't understand from that level my love for my wife and her love for me and our relationship. Helen's my second wife. We've been together 20 years. I met Helen and she met me for the first time 3 years ago. We actually met each other. Because the stuff I've told Helen over the last 3 years and stuff she's told me about ourselves, now we feel about each other, and the do's and don'ts and all that, which the secrets you don't tell each other. You think you really know each other. Over the last 3 years, our love for each other and our whole relationship has just gone through the roof. But having said that, 30 seconds. Having said that, let me give you one incident that happened about 4 months ago. Helen wanted to start a new business, and a guy I knew did some sales training. So I said, it might be an idea, because she always said, not sure about the sales side. We'll go on this sales training course. I'll come with you. We'll have a great day, and you'll learn some techniques and everything else. So we get up in the morning. Morning, darling. Oh, by the way, I get up every morning, and have a guess what I do on the side of my bed? Now, honestly, it's okay. I go like that. Ellen, every single morning, I get up. It's not a pretty sight, because I'm naked at this time. I sit on the side of the bed, and I go, another brilliant day, no wood. Try it, because it sets your day off fantastically. Every single morning I do it. But gets in the car, great morning, lovely, how you doing, love, great. He has our fruit juice, whatever, sits down, gets in the car, we're going to have a great day today. She says, yeah, we have a lovely day today. Going along. And I can't remember for the life of me what I said, but I must have said, you could do with just pushing your hair down a little bit. Like thinking I was being nice, because her hair was a bit out of... And she must have thought, bastard. But she never said it. And then she went... And then she thought, her script thought, he ain't getting away with that. She said, your beard needs a shave. I went, oh, I forgot to do that this morning. Bitch. The 15-minute drive. Now, don't forget, we got in that car, happy couple. 15-minute drive. I gets out the car and says, well, if you don't want to come today, don't come. And she gets out the car, well, don't you want me there then? 15 minutes ago, we were a loving couple. So instead of my script going, well, you know, I went, well, come on, you're taking all day. And off we goes. And she says, well, I might not come anymore. And I go, well, if you don't want to come, don't come. She says, well, don't you want to be with me? Listen to this now. Don't you want to, we've gone from good. Don't you want to be with me anymore? And I turns around and says, well, if you don't want to be with me, fuck off. I don't need you anymore. I can fucking do this by myself. But if that's how you feel, bollocks. This is true. This is 15 minutes earlier, we got in the car, lovers, happy as pie. So I'm walking along, and I went, well, piss off then. And then all of a sudden I went, whoa. And I turned round, and I just went, I am so sorry. I said, I absolutely love you to bits. I want to spend the rest of my life with you. You're everything to me. Because what I'd realised was we'd both just jumped into our scripts. It wasn't Helen saying bollocks to me, and it wasn't me saying piss off to her. It was our scripts. Because I would never tell Helen to bugger off. I love her to bits. She's my partner for life, you know, everything going well. And she would, well, she might actually tell me to piss off, I don't know. But she probably would. No, and she would never, ever say those things to me. But in that 15 minutes of going from who we really are and how we really feel about each other into what Richard calls the script, we could have partied that day. That, and going back maybe 5 years ago, before we understood BC, that would have gone on for a week. That, and I'm not saying we'd have sworn and everything, but for a week later, we'd have both held on to those two criticisms. Me criticising her, her criticising me. It was gone in an instant when I just turned around and went, God, I'm so sorry. That wasn't me. It was my script. And she went, I don't care. I think you're a twat. No, she didn't say that. She just said, yeah, it was my script as well. And we just Eldans, walked in, and the day was wonderful. But if it wasn't for BC and the understanding that we were both in our scripts, it wasn't us that was talking to each other, it could have been a nightmare. And that's the big thing that BC's done for us. It's made us realise that when we are who we are, our real selves, and we're true to ourselves, it's just wonderful. It's only when things and situations get us into our scripts that life can be a pain in the arse. And for us, I can't thank Liz and Richard enough. It's just been one. And for business, it's just great, because I used to dress up in a suit and pretend to be somebody else when I went into the meetings. The business people never, ever, ever met Captain Scarlett. They always met Jeff Scarlett, the person I wanted them to see. I've got more business now. I'm happier now. The people I deal with have all said, you're just such a happy, changed bloke now from what you was a few years ago. You don't really care whether you get business off us, do you? I go, well, no, not tell you the truth. If I get the business, it's great. If I don't get the business, it's great. And most of the time, they give me the business. And it's all down to BC. So thank you very much, guys.